right, so I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I loved the Grimm's Brother fairy tales. And it seemed like in an awful lot of those fairy tales, they were eating porridge. After all, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, she's sampling their porridge. This one's too hot. This one's too cold. This one's just right. And we also have another one called the Sweet Porridge. Where a poor girl and her mother have so little food that they go into the forest. And she meets an old woman who gives her a magical pot that cooks porridge. What is porridge? We don't have porridge here in the United States, do we? Well, let's take a look at the definition of porridge. Porridge is a soft food made by cooking grains in milk or water until thickened. It can be savory or sweet, and it's often eaten for breakfast. Porridge. So it goes on to say grains like oats, barley, quinoa, farro, or wild rice. All right, so now we have a context for all this porridge they were eating in these fairy tales. All right, so now that we have a context for this porridge, let's take a look at some of the types. So this is a type of porridge. We call it oatmeal, but it's a type of porridge. It's made out of oats, duh. That's a type of porridge. Turns out that the rice pudding that we've all been making is a type of porridge. And the one I've never had, the porridge I've never had, is, there's a wet spot right there, hold on. There's a wet spot right where I want to put my thing. So the one I've never had is cornmeal porridge. And this feels unique to me because apparently my voice is not quite ready this morning. But I've never had this, but apparently you can turn cornmeal mix into porridge. I don't believe you can do the same thing with flour. But there is such a thing as cream of wheat, and that would be a type of porridge. So let's make some cornmeal porridge and see what it tastes like. I have never had it. This is one of those foods that I have never had, so let's do it. All right, so let's take a look at this cornmeal porridge recipe. I have my tablet out, but I've never tried this recipe. It says 1 cup of cornmeal. There we go. 1 cup of coconut milk. All right, they're just trying to be fancy pants. I'm just going to use regular milk. 2 cups of water, a half teaspoon of salt, some cinnamon, nutmeg, sugar, and vanilla extract. So I've got all the ingredients more or less. So let's start doing this cornmeal mush. And we're going to start with the 2 cups of water, I believe, because I believe I'm going to make it just like I would the rice pudding. Start off with the water and finish with the milk. And I just noticed on my watch it is 50 degrees outside. 50. All right, so I need 16 ounces of water. This cup is should be about 16 ounces of water. Yeah, 12.9. Yeah, 16.8. 16 ounces of water. And they're talking about a cup of cornmeal. They say fine cornmeal. So I need 8 ounces. No, it's not going to be 8 ounces. It is going to be like 137 grams or something. So I need 137 grams of cornmeal. Yep, there we go. And it says actually put the milk in too. This is very interesting. In a medium pot, add the cornmeal along with the milk, water, salt, And they're using a cinnamon stalk, but we're not going to use a cinnamon stalk. I've got ground cinnamon. So, put some sugar in there, or sugar, salt. Salt and cinnamon. So we'll put the cinnamon in. And I need a fork to stir this around. This just a little bit. And then I also want to get a cup of milk in here. So let me do that. Which will be 8 ounces. And I have some delicious whole milk that will go out in 4 days. I think the local grocery store is struggling. 8 ounces of whole milk. There we go. All right, now I'm going to put this on the stove and stir it. And it did not say to add the sugar with the cornmeal and milk mix. Instead, the sugar, nutmeg, and vanilla go in after it's finished. All right, so let's take a look. So here it is, folks, and this may actually remind you of the rice pudding, but this is cornmeal. So we'll see if it turns out. And it ends up being 1 cup of cornmeal to 3 cups of liquid. It's pretty comparable to the rice. I think the rice actually gets it's like a cup of rice to 4 cups of liquid, 4 to 5. So the rice really sucks it up. And I actually saw a recipe where you put this in the fridge in a container and you leave it there overnight and then you slice it and fry it. It's called fried cornmeal mush. I might try that, but I don't think I've got a container that would be good for slicing. But I might try that too. We don't eat this stuff in Indiana. At least I don't. I don't know anybody that eats it, and I never ate it as a kid, and it's the first time I'll be eating it as an adult. It is starting to thicken up just a little bit. There's a bunch of construction going on back here. It's kind of irritating. In the 10 years I've been here, this is the loudest the park has ever been. When I moved in, I asked them if it was quiet, and they said, "It's so quiet, I'm bored." I was like, perfect. But it's not quiet anymore. I don't feel like it's safe anymore either. But I'm guessing you just keep stirring this because otherwise it'll probably clump on the bottom and be kind of liquidy on the top. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to continue to do this. I think I'll turn up the fire just a hair. Alright, so I turned up the fire just a little bit to cook this a little quicker. It is after 9, I think. I got up late, but then I was up late last night. So yeah, if you're unaware, I do have a GoFundMe in the description and a Buy Me a Coffee. If you are motivated to help support the channel, go right on. If you just want to enjoy the videos and move on to the next video, that's cool too. And if you want to leave a comment and you don't know what to say, just say, "Hey Stace, have a great day." It's actually thickening up, believe it or not. But it's still really, really watery. And it's going to end up being lumpy. I think I'll turn down the fire. I'm getting a buildup on the bottom of the pan. It is boiling, so I don't know. It's not thickening up the way I would expect. Let's see if I'm missing something, because I did put in a cup. It's supposed to be 10 minutes. I think it's been about 10 minutes. Maybe not. Maybe not. You're supposed to cook it until it has a porridge consistency. So I guess I'm just going to keep stirring it. Well, we might be getting there. Oh, now I'm getting there. All right. I had to check the timer on my phone to see if it had been about 10 minutes. It had not, because the timer said 14 minutes. So that told me there was at least another 5 minutes left on this. All right, it is getting thick now. All right, so let's take a look at this. It's getting thick. I'm starting to wonder if it was going to get thick. So yeah, it's getting there. It just took a little longer than I thought. It takes less time than the rice, though. The rice you can actually put in the water and walk away from for about 30 minutes. All right, so this is getting thick. That's good. All right, I think it will finish thickening up as it cools. So let me turn that off. And now I need to add the nutmeg and vanilla. Need to get some more vanilla. I'm really going through it. So here's some vanilla. And I need to throw some nutmeg in there. So this gets the same spices as the rice pudding. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. And if you want to, you can make it with coconut milk. Is it cheap? Yeah, it is, but it wouldn't be initially. Because I don't think a lot of us have cornmeal in the house. I mean, maybe you're different, but we didn't have much in the way of cornmeal in the house when I was growing up, and I don't buy a lot of it. So if you don't have any of the ingredients, I think this is going to be very pricey. Because the cornmeal that I bought was $5. And it is, how many pounds of cornmeal is it? It's pretty heavy. All right, so it is 5 pounds of cornmeal for $5. So it's about $1 a pound. Cinnamon and nutmeg you could probably get. It depends on where you get it as to how expensive it is. I would think that the average price of cinnamon and nutmeg each would be about $4. Sugar is about $2 to $3 depending on what you're going to buy. If you buy imitation vanilla, it's about $2. If you buy real vanilla, the price is up there. So if you don't have any of these ingredients, you're going to spend $5 plus $8, $13, $14, $15 for the vanilla. Be about $20 to buy the ingredients for this. Oh, I forgot the milk. So about $23 to buy the ingredients for this if you had nothing in your pantry. You know, if you don't have the cornmeal, then this would cost you $5, and quite honestly, it would probably make a whole lot of cornmeal porridge. So I am going to let that cool off, and I'll be back. All right, so that's actually the right consistency. And something else, you know, it's never about the per meal cost. I'm sure this is like, I don't know, $1 to $2 per serving, maybe less than that, because that would be for the whole pot of this. And this could probably be 2 servings. You know, it's never about the per serving cost. It's always about the upfront cost. I mean, if it costs you $20 to buy the ingredients for this, are you really going to do it, or are you going to spend that $20 on something else like maybe a steak and a bag of potatoes? You know, even though you'll get more meals out of this. So that's always the thing I think about, is the upfront cost to some of this stuff. Is this cheap? Sure, I'm sure it's super cheap per meal. But the upfront cost would be about $20 to $25 depending on where you get it. So let's see if this is any good. I'm just going to leave it in the skillet. I'll put it in a bowl in a minute. It is the right consistency. Let's see if it is any good. Well, I might have put a little too much salt in mine, but it kind of tastes like cream of wheat. Oh, I need to put the sugar in. My first thought was this is not sweet at all, but actually I forgot the sugar. It's not bad without sugar. It is a little salty. I think I put way too much salt in it. It'll be all right. All right, let me throw that sugar in. Can't believe I forgot the sugar. All right, now let me try it. Yeah, that kind of tastes like cream of wheat. That's not bad. I kind of like that. All right. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.